Hey, I'm Primitive Tim, and today I'm going to show you guys how I gather my feathers for fletching. And so I've got a dead peacock right here, and this is going to make just some excellent fletchings. Mostly on the wing feathers here. These are going to be where I want to get my fletchings from. But the peacock is a beautiful bird, and you can see it's got brown wing feathers, and then some darker ones with some iridescence on them, and these really awesome mottled wing feathers here. And to collect these wing feathers, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut off the wing here. And so rigor mortis is setting, it's been dead for a while, so I'm just going to stretch this wing out and just pull it all the way out so that there's only a small area of the wing showing. And now I'm going to pull it up till it pops. And so I've got just one little area, and there's a joint here, so we'll cut there. And so now we've got our wing feather, and it's got our different colored wings on it. Ooh, this is blue, this is really pretty. And so we'll do the same thing to the other side here. Alright, so we've got our wings off now. So we want our tail feathers. Now with the tail feathers, there's not like an actual tail I can cut off. So I'm gonna have to end up cutting off individual feathers. So I'll try and do that in groups. So I'll get up here underneath all this down on the back end right here, and I'm just gonna start cutting through all these. I mean, look at that tail, that's incredible. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start cutting through the base of all these thick tail feathers. So as you cut through, you can just remove those feathers. These feathers will actually just pop right out if I pull them out. So I'll just grab a handful of those and pull them right out. And these come out pretty easily. Now when you pluck some of these feathers, there's some like flesh and fat and stuff on the feathers. You can see this yellow junk on here. I'm not going to put these with the other ones that came out real nice and clean, but I'm just going to set them right over here to the side, and then that way I can just cut off that part. So you'll see this quill is kind of purplish, and this is one I just plucked right out. But if you squeeze it, it like drops out some little, like some kind of oil or something. So you're not going to want to just like throw that somewhere. Just be aware that it's in there and it can leak out and get on stuff and start to smell. So you want to leave these outside, let that oil get dried up, and leave the feather here before you bring them inside and like make something decorative out of them. Man, look at that. This is some incredible stuff right here. I'm really happy. Now be sure and go check out my my Facebook page, because I'll be posting like macro pictures of this kind of stuff and just different things. You'll be able to have an idea of what I'm going to be posting on YouTube, because I'll take pictures of stuff while I'm filming and post them on my Facebook page, so that way you get a little bit of a preview of what's to come. Also, if this guy was alive, he'd say, go like the Facebook page. That sounds like a peacock, right? Alright, so the last thing I'm going to pull off of this bird is it's actually not even feathers. I'm going to take these feet. These are big feet. They've got strong spurs on them, very sharp spurs. And these will be used in knife handles actually. So the way you do that is you're just going to bend it backwards until you hear it pop. And basically you'll just be breaking that joint off. And then once you get it off the joint, you can see the bone sticking through here. That's like a little hinge joint there. And so once it's off of there, you can take your knife and just cut through the rest of it. Now what I can do with this is I can just leave this out to dry. So if it's a sunny day or something, I'll set it out there But most important part is the dryness. And I'll have a nice little peacock foot if I need a handle for a knife. Although, how's that gonna work? Alright, we'll see. That's something we can figure out when we make a knife from it. Alright, so now we cut off our wings. So we need to take the wing feathers off of the actual flesh part of the wing. This is some good stuff right here. I'm really excited about this. Now on the wing, we've got big feathers and we've got little feathers. Right up here we've got little feathers. We're of course not going to need that. Also on the underside, there's some little feathers that aren't going to be very useful for fletching arrows. So we're just going to take these big feathers and leave the rest of it. We'll chuck that into the woods. The critters can eat that. And so these don't pluck very easily like the tail feathers. You can't just like tear them out. So we're going to have to end up cutting them out, which of course is kind of a pain in the butt, but do our best. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of separate these out by color. And the way I do that is I'm taking all these mottled ones and these black ones here. I'm just going to push them in different directions. That's going to give them some separation there. And you'll hear some cracking as well, and that's perfectly fine. So we'll take our knife, and I'm actually going to sit on these wing feathers right here. I'm going to sit on them like this so that I have something to pull against, because when you cut you want things to be nice and tight. So we just cut off all our mottled ones. Man, these are pretty. So there's some down in here and some little feathers that I don't really want. So we'll just pluck those out. Those will pluck out. And you can just tear them. I wonder if that hawk wants some of this. I bet he does. So there's little feathers here. So I actually like to use some of the smaller feathers for certain types of fletching. But you just pull them down and against these right here, and they'll come out real easy. So there's still some flesh in here. So what I'll do is I can just separate up these feathers and just tear them apart, and just tear one feather out at a time. And each feather is going to have a little bit of that fatty flesh on there. But that's okay. I can cut that off once I get them all separated. And little feathers like that can just get chucked. We'll put these in the corner. Now when I'm doing this, I want to keep things pretty much organized. I want to make sure that all my left wing feathers stay in one section and all my right wing feathers stay in another section, because if I get them mixed, I don't want to use them together on an arrow. So I'm going to keep them separated so that I don't mix any left wing feathers with right wing feathers. It's going to cause my arrow to fly funky. So separate your feathers and make sure they don't get mixed up with the other wings. So this wing is going to be on this side, and this was the right wing, so I'm going to keep it on one side of my truck. So what I'm going to do now is just bundle up all my feathers that are alike and just kind of get things organized. And so right here I've got all my pretty tail feathers, and then of course this right here, these are the tail feathers that were beneath these ones here. And so just get everything organized, bundle them up, and then store them. Now these feathers here that I plucked out, they still have like juices and oils and stuff inside the vein of the feather, and so I want to make sure that I do not store this inside, because it'll still smell. Yeah, it still smells like a dead bird. So we're going to store this outside somewhere that has shelter where it's going to stay dry. Make sure that I have left wing feathers with left wing feathers, right wing feathers with right wing feathers, and then all the tail feathers together. So that's pretty much how I'm going to organize it, and I'll show you guys when it's all done. So I make sure everything is organized well. That way I know what I'm getting. And so these are all my left wing feathers, and these are the black ones. So I just went ahead and put them together color coded, because I figure that'll just make things a lot more simple. So I'm just gonna wrap them up all together like that. So that is how I get the feathers off of a dead peacock. And all I'm using is just one knife, and it's pretty simple. So if you ever come across a hunter that doesn't want his turkey feathers or something, if he shoots it and all he wants is the meat, go ask him and say, hey, you got any of those feathers left? And he'll probably say no, but next time he goes hunting, he'll remember you, and he'll make sure he keeps those wing feathers and those tail feathers for you. And that's actually how I get all my feathers. Is I don't ever even shoot these birds. I just ask hunters, hey, can you just save the feathers for me? Give me a call when you get back from a hunt. I'll come by and pick them up. And I offer to make them an arrow or something like that. People like to see what you've made from the materials they give you. So if you even come and show them one, if they act interested, just give it to them. You did a lot of hard work to make it, but it's good to keep that relation up with the hunter, so they're like, hey, he gave me an authentic looking arrow here made from a turkey feather or even a peacock feather. So until next time, find a new way to appreciate nature.